Welcome to Sushi Bites. I believe this is the first time we've had a publisher opportunity on the show, and possibly the last given what I'm about to say. So, full disclosure, I requested a key for the Tale of Onogoro and was provided one in exchange for video coverage. Please keep in mind during this review that I was provided a key. My opinion may be subtly affected by that, or not.
Oh.
So what is it? The Tale of Onogoro is a VR game developed and published by Amata Games in 2022 for just about every VR platform with a pulse. If you can play VR games on it, there's a greater than zero chance that the Tale of Onogoro is available on your chosen device. A quick timeline: in 2022 it came to the MetaQuest first in March, Steam in September, Pico in October, PlayStation VR and Meta Rift Store on PC in December. In 2023 it came to PSVR 2 in February, and a MetaQuest 3 patch with improved visuals was launched in December of that year, with Vive versions in 2024. It is somewhat surprising to me that I hadn't played this yet, given its ubiquitous nature, being available everywhere. I was sure I would have at least heard of it before. But outside of passing the title up at game because it had PSVR 2 on the label, I had no idea it was so readily available for literally every VR device until I saw the title listed on Keymailer. After having had some time with it, I have some mixed feelings and observations, good and bad. Some are nitpicks, some are genuine concerns or even deal breakers for me. I'll do my best to provide this coverage with a sense of humour, but I think I'm going to be a bit mean here and there. The Tale of Onogoro features you, the player, as the main character. It's kind of fitting that we're getting meta while wearing the Meta Quest. Meta on the Meta Quest! Meta on the Meta Quest! Yeah! So the story goes a little something like this. You just got the latest amazing VR game that definitely isn't this one. And when you put on your headset to play it, you get teleported to another parallel realm instead. That's right, baby, it's an isekai. An isekai. Yeah, isekai. In this realm, it's Japan during the Taisho era with a steampunk twist. Everything is powered by ki, which comes in the element of fire, lightning, or wind. The game begins with you getting transported to this world. There's an admittedly quite nicely rendered globe and some blocking effects, but this intro goes on for about 10 years. When you finally come to, you discover one Haru Kose. She was recently wounded by some punk named Masatake Arakida.
Ooh, Arakida! Dun 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 dun.
Haru has had her left eye removed,
Gouge his eyes!
a leg, and an arm taken, her heart excavated, and a magical bow that she would use to defeat evil dismantled. Somehow, our Haru here is missing her heart and is still alive. Scientists hate her. Click here to find out why. That fella that took Haru's body parts, this Masatake geezer, is planning to use an upcoming festival, one that happens every 77 years, to initiate some form of calamity. The festival is the boundary between the so-called seen world and unseen world. That's where we came from. In order to pull off this evil plan, or whatever it is he's up to, he needs to steal parts of Haru's body and infuse them into incensed kami, angered mystical beings that previously worked to protect the floating island of Onogoro, but now seek to destroy it. So Haru accidentally summons you, the player, to her world. At first she's really endearing, chatty and friendly, but she's chained to a rock with a sword jammed in it. If she's to go anywhere, the player must move her themselves with the spirit guns, or rather, celestial weapons. You can use these to store and fire the elemental key that you find, and these bullets can defeat enemies or activate environmental features. So what kind of game is this? It's a puzzle game. It's a point-and-click puzzle game, but in VR. My first issue with this game, then, It's such a strange choice of genre for an exclusively VR game. There is nothing here that cannot reasonably be done with a controller or a mouse and keyboard. I suppose you wouldn't feel half as close to Haru if you were playing the game outside of VR, so something can be said for how the VR increases your immersion within the world, at the very least. A puzzle game, then. But I did play far enough to fight one boss, the mechanics of which were not abundantly clear. For whatever reason, once the boss decides it's going to pick up and slam Haru, despite her cries for help, there was nothing I could seemingly do to stop her getting her ass beaten.
Quickly, grab the calming stone before I am slammed into the ground.
Luckily, you can heal Haru by holding hands with her.
Give me your hand. Now, take my hand. Strength is flowing into me.
So, one thing the game at least gets right is allowing you to hold your lolly companion's hands. Can I keep that one in? I'm keeping it. Each map consists of various seemingly copy-pasted puzzles, such as putting a box on a switch or shooting two things at the same time with different blasts, or something along those lines. It's basically Portal. At the end of the stage, you hold Haru's hand and pray the barrier away, allowing you to progress to the next one. A lot of hand-holding is involved. Between levels, the environment does not change all too much, aesthetically I mean, at least in the parts that I played. The areas you do get to explore feel very cramped, and you're told these are bustling towns that would be fully inhabited, but they're empty because it's a time of war.
They're all closed.
Doesn't change the fact they feel empty. And they don't have a liminal feeling. I don't buy that these places are places where people live and travel through. They just don't feel believable to me in that regard. Haru getting slammed or shot isn't the only way you can get a game over. The purple portal thing is an absolute pain in the ass. You thought dealing with Ashley in Resident Evil 4 was bad. Leon! Help me, Leon! At least if Ashley gets picked up by some stinky ganado, you can just shoot her free. If Haru gets grabbed by this purple portal thing, it doesn't matter if you're grabbing onto the rock or not. She's gonna get sucked into that portal anyway, and it's bye-bye baddie.
Bye-bye, baddie.
I had to look this one up. According to a review from Chris Duro, you need to move the rock back and forward in order to release it from the portal. Well, it's a good job they figured it out. Except they didn't. They had to look it up. And I only found out the solution because they mentioned it in their review. I think if you're grabbing onto the rock, that should be enough. Or better yet, let us plonk her down somewhere and deal with enemies without her getting whisked away. The first time this happened, she was hitting me with exposition, and then a portal appeared, and I just thought it was a cutscene.
If we go through the shopping district and through the Gotetsu Enterprises industrial area, we will reach the back road to the Great Shrine. Elder Masatake headed for the back road too. We must defeat him and the 4 remaining kami. Honorable Traveler, please help me! Masatake! Honorable Traveler, please help me somehow!
She got sucked into the portal and I thought, okay, this is getting interesting. Now I have to complete some levels without her. Nope, it's a game over. You know what? I say let the heavens take her, because at least she would stop talking. Haru won't shut the fuck up! Incensed Kami this, Masatake Shitake that. I love world building, but Haru is like Elizabeth from BioShock if someone gave her 3 cups of strong coffee. I understand she's a shrine maiden who has spent most of her life locked up, forced to pray for people, and was recently left for dead, with limbs and her eye missing. Girl's gonna be clingy to any outsider that saved her life, but for the love of all that is holy, I don't need to know about the festivals and traditions of Onogoro Island. I just want to make some story progress here. Many people have described the game as intimate, which I suppose is accurate. I now have an intimate knowledge of what the villagers of Onogoro Island do on any 5th Tuesday of the 3rd month during a full moon. The puzzles are primitive, but at the same time unintuitive. Objects that behave one way behave differently in the next stage. There's one particular puzzle in, I believe, level 2-3, where you have to grab ammo in one gun while the door is closing, and then keep that ammo stored so you can use the other gun. But the window to pull this off, it's a split second. That kind of precision in VR is butt sauce. I do commend Tale of Onogoro for its art style, soundtrack, graphical fidelity, and overall presentation. I cannot vouch for more primitive platforms, but the Steam release allows you to jack up the internal resolution to 1.5 times, which really makes the environment pop. The animations on Haru are great, the lip syncing is on point, and apart from not being able to look up her holy dress, I'd say the entire game is a visual feast. The voice acting I'm iffy on, but you can change it to Japanese and use subtitles if you prefer. This is definitely quite different compared to most VR experiences, which tend to be on-rail shooters or games that require punching or slashing. If this looks like something you'd be interested in, I can recommend the game when it's on sale. As a puzzle game, this is no The Witness or the Talos Principle. It's very scaled back and simple, and I think more than anything else, that is why I'd have a hard time trying to convince someone to play this if they were on the fence. I'd tell them to keep their money, watch or read some reviews, get a feel for if the game is really for them. Thank you again, Amata Games and Keymailer, for the opportunity to cover this one. I wish I had more encouraging things to say. If Haru was here, she'd know the right things to say.
Incredible! I can hardly believe you have never used this. This is a Sakafune stone.
I hope I haven't burned any bridges with Amata Games, as I would be curious to try their sister work, Last Labyrinth, as it claims to be inspired by Saw. As a gornography connoisseur, that sounds quite exciting. This has been Sushi Bites. Thanks for watching.